Welcome to Smart Route, the podcast by CallTrackingMetrics, where you'll hear stories from businesses at the intersection of marketing, customer experience, and sales. We're sitting down with business leaders and industry experts to dive deep into the path they took to find success. Here are your hosts, Brandon Jordan and Peter Bacon.
Welcome to the CallTrackingMetrics Smart Route podcast. Woo! Burr, burr, burr. Right, we have the music there. This is our second episode, Peter. How you feeling?
Good.
Good? Awesome.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful special guest, the Honorable Kiva Slade, CEO, owner of the 516 Collaborative, 516 Collaborative. And we're definitely looking forward to a great conversation. Kiva, how's it going today?
Hey, it's good. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Yes. So I know you have such an amazing background. So I know your bio really tells us so many, like you have so much great experience. So tell us a little bit about some of your background. You've done things from like crafting jewelry to legislation, right? So can you just kind of talk a little bit about some of your background?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's definitely not been a straight path. I'm the girl taking the S curves here and winding up at my destination. But yeah, I grew up loving politics. I'll be honest, when I was 3, I wanted to be a lawyer and a Dallas Cowgirl cheerleader.
Oh, nice.
And in my mind, like those things totally coexisted. Okay. So those were my goals in life. Did not ever try out for the Cowgirls, and I didn't go to law school. I wound up getting a master's instead. So,
Nice.
but definitely had a, undergrad poli-sci major, thinking about what I wanted to do and really wanted to go into politics. So grad school, did all of that. Wound up on the Hill and was quickly disabused of my naivete around, what's that, Hamilton? Like you figure out how the sausage is made and you're
That's
like,
right.
you know
Yeah.
what? I'm
Changes
good.
everything, right?
Yeah, you're like, I don't like sausage anymore. I'm okay. And so really that part of me just had to try to figure some things out. I went and did policy at a nonprofit. But then, I met a guy, got married, and
Nice.
got pregnant. And so it's like, then you're like, okay, what are we doing now? And so our daughter had some health challenges, and it was kind of interesting because when I was in grad school, one of my internships was with the Governor's Office of Children, Youth, and Families. And that was when all that 0 to 3, 0 to 5 brain research was out. And at that point, I didn't even have a boyfriend, but I was like, I am going to stay home until my child is 5 because their brains are like just firing off all these things and they need me.
Sponge, yeah.
Yeah, so wound up actually being home and for a lot longer than 0 to 5. So wound up just started working with my kids and started homeschooling because one kid led to another kid. I don't know how this math works, but it kind of went that way. And I was a mommy blogger back in 2007, 2008. So I like to tell people I am not new to this whole thing of being remote and online and all the things did all of those. So this really kind of got to this point where kids were starting to, dual enrollment and looking at college. And I'm like, oh, you can't homeschool if there's no kids, right?
Correct.
You're not teaching anyone. So I was like, what am I going to do? And a friend of mine, she was like, oh, look at being a VA. And you guys know, in the DC metro area, I am literally looking at her like she has 2 heads. I was like, what does the Veterans Administration have to do with what?
With anything, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, did you hear my question? She was like, and I'm like, so we're both having this whole acronym challenge. And so I did. I looked into that, but quickly realized what I know in my skill set. And I was just like, so are you also going to do this in your business? And they were like, I just need you to do my calendar. And I was like, I don't just do calendars, and so it was really, and that actually fed a lot into the work that I do now, because I really help a lot of business owners, but in particular women, realize there's lateral moves you can make when you're wanting to go into entrepreneurship. And this feeling, and I won't say I don't know that men don't have it, but I think women have it more. In that we think we need to go down to the bottom and then work our ways back up. And so really help them understand. Yeah, it's
not at all.
Dude, just lateral. Like that's
Yes.
all we're doing. And
Yes.
so, really look at that and really help them understand like, hey, there's a straight move over here that you can do. And no shade to anyone who's a VA. Like there's tons of opportunities there.
Right.
But for some women, when you have managed things, you've led teams, you've done a lot of different things, there's no need for you to go back
Down.
that
Yeah,
route. You can
absolutely.
actually just make a lateral into what it is that you're looking to do. So
Mhm.
all of that to say, it's been a windy road, but a wonderful one in
Yeah.
that I feel like all of those experiences, no matter what we've done in life, all
Yeah.
come together
That's
and
right.
they make sense. And you'll start to see where you're pulling from other things that you've done. And, it was, I think just, it was the path I was supposed to take.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I did.
Right. Well, so many different stories from the different directions you go, and somehow they can all weave into each other.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I think, Peter, I know you have a question. I didn't quite do our intro justice. I did not mention I am a Baltimore kid, that you are a Morgan alum, right?
Yes.
So shout out to the Morgan Bears. I know when we first connected, we had a great conversation about the great food scene in Baltimore. I'll save that for a little later.
Yeah.
But
We've already
I
talked about
definitely,
sausage.
yeah. Yeah, I don't want to get everybody hungry, right? I know we've got some time before lunch, but go ahead, Peter. I definitely wanted to bring that up and definitely give you a shout out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And just
awesome.
prayers for Baltimore right now and
Yes, for
Oregon
sure,
with
for
all that's
sure,
going on.
definitely. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
things going on there. Yeah,
Kiva, so as 2023 draws to a close, we'd like to get a little retrospective from you on what are some of the things that marketers got right in this last year, and be honest, what did we get wrong?
Oh, that's such a great question. I think,
It's a loaded question.
it is
yeah, it's
loaded.
definitely loaded like a baked potato, but
There's food again. There's
it's
food.
food again. But I really think authenticity was something that I feel a lot of marketers got right. I think there's a part of all of us still trying to figure out like post-COVID selves in life. It's like people are
Yeah.
craving authenticity, people are craving realness. And I feel a lot of marketers did a great job there with that authenticity and also brand and value alignment.
Yeah,
I think we went through a period of, George Floyd. Oh, let's have a black square on our social, but
yeah,
like nothing else your company did aligned with that. And so you get called out on it. And so
yeah,
now I feel there was a much more intentional shift towards brand and value alignment. Like, you can go ahead and do X, Y, and Z. But if you're going to show that on your, in any of your marketing, it needs to actually be backed up by stuff.
yeah,
So I think that was a good thing. But I also think brand and value alignment can fall into things that were bad as well and things
yeah,
that were not done well, because I feel that again, there's that feeling of this is what we do, or we're trying to jump on the most recent trend and it doesn't align with your brand and value. And people saw that as well. So I feel that one's a mixed bag. It can go on either end. And then I think another thing that was more, I'll say wrong, is understanding now these different platforms and everything else, there's different audiences. Whether there's some overlap, your people could be in multiple places, but they're on each of these platforms for a different reason.
yeah,
And I think really starting to hone in on that, which for some feels exhausting. It's
yeah,
like, wait, we got to create more stuff and market even more. And it's like, yeah, actually you do. But I think that it's of finding where that sweet spot is. And again, like, focusing on where your people really are, then it may not feel as overwhelming, but yeah, lining up and getting brand and value alignment. Like I always think about Wendy's.
hmm
I don't know why I don't eat Wendy's, but I feel like Wendy's marketing people, like
yeah,
they are just like the epitome of petty. They are
yeah.
like
They are.
anything that someone else is doing, they were
Yeah,
like, hey, but if that works, they keep their petty going,
that's right. Yep.
and but it works and it gets like, everyone talking.
Yeah,
Whether you go buy Wendy's after that, I don't know. But,
yeah,
you might go get a Frosty. But, it's one of those things like if you're going to be that way, then fully lean into
Yeah.
whatever it is that you are and own it.
Yeah. That's
I
awesome.
like that with the authenticity because also, for me personally, that also holds some accountability to them too.
Yeah.
Yes,
You're going to say this. I want to see you follow through with that. Back up
exactly.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I feel people are looking for. It's
Yes.
not just you telling
Present.
me we do these
Yes.
great things. Like, okay, well, show me the
Yeah.
receipts. Like,
Yeah.
where's
What's
the
going on?
receipts of what you've done? I want to see it,
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And when they don't have those receipts, it's like, oh, I don't know.
Right.
We've proven that we won't spend if we're not feeling like you are doing what you say you're doing.
That's right. Yeah, we've seen a
Absolutely.
record number of companies get called out, whether it's in the news, social media, for not aligning and not being authentic and not sticking to that brand value. So no, that's a great point, and I think everybody should take heed to that. Right, stay authentic, and stay aligned with the brand values that you guys have designated for your marketing, and not just your marketing, but for your company's values as well. So that's awesome. So yeah, I mean, and kind of to that sense, just kind of going, I wanted to know like what kind of trends, right? So outside of companies getting called out, right? We've seen that a ton, which has some positive effects, some negative effects as well. But outside of that, like what other trends, Kiva, have you seen, when it comes to like maybe things like the metaverse, NFTs, et cetera? What do you think, right, is worth the hype going into 2024 and what's not, right? So we have these compare and contrast questions. But yeah, what's worth the hype? What's not? What are you guys seeing?
Oh my goodness, you guys are coming with all the loaded questions
Bring the
today.
heat.
It's like,
Bring
man.
the heat.
Let's see, like worth the hype, whether we like it or not, AI.
AI. That's
It,
it.
you
It's a big
love
one.
it, hate
Yep.
it, like
Hmm.
it is here. It is not going anywhere. The investment, whether it's through Microsoft, Google, like whomever and whatever, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I like just the other day, Canva, I wanted a picture of a canary in a coal mine,
Okay.
and it was giving me coal mines or it was just giving me canary, and they were like, try text to image, and I put it in and was like, oh.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you have
This is
500
it.
credits of this. I was like, well, why have I not been using this more often? But it's like those things, like that ability to, I think we've all searched for some image or something and it just didn't
Yeah.
convey what we
That's
really
right.
wanted. And now it's like, so you can kind of take my words and make me the image
Yeah.
that I was really looking for. And I can enhance that or create more nuance in it to give you that specifics.
Yeah.
And so I think AI, whether we, again, like it or love it, it's here.
Yeah.
It's here to stay. And I think just figuring out how we can better use it is like for all of our benefits. Wow, the metaverse, NFTs, like, I don't know. For me, I think they've had a branding issue from day one.
Yeah.
Like, if you weren't a
Yes.
gamer or something, like you
Yeah.
really like the cross appeal, like, or you
Yeah.
start talking crypto, blockchain. Let's
Hmm.
be honest. Some older millennials, Gen X, they're like, that sounds like a scam.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, they've checked out of this conversation.
I
So
feel seen. I feel seen.
but it's like it just doesn't feel like you're like, what? And it's just so I feel like that it's so volatile, and
Yeah.
with the economy the way that it is, our connected world economy. Yeah, I don't want an NFT. If I'm a buy some, I'm putting the art on my wall,
Right.
and
I
I
want to
need
touch
to
it.
Right.
see it. Like I want to touch it. It needs to be tangible, not some.
Yes.
Yes, I own a part of this. It's
Yeah.
digital.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
no,
No.
no, no. So I feel like that's like a part of it, and I
Hmm.
I joke about like older millennials and stuff, but I mean my kids are Gen Z. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, all these different letters and alphabets.
It gets
Even
confusing.
that, like my daughter is totally like, mm-mm. Whereas my
No.
son,
Wow.
I think, yeah, my son, I think has he has some, I don't know, him and a bunch of people own some art. Like you're never gonna have
Okay.
it to own it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like it's an investment is what he
Yeah. An
said.
investment group.
And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, babe, did you research that very well? Like that was disposable. I'm hoping some money that you just have over there because mommy would say no. So I
Right.
Yep.
feel like those that depending on your age,
Yeah.
they were hyped up and you're like, I'm good. We can move on to 2024 without those things and everybody would be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
perhaps this
awesome.
will be a valuable lesson a little bit down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know in our recent podcast, AI came up as well. So for those that are listening, this is the second time now that AI has come up. So again, take heed. And we had a really great conversation around that. And again, it's coming up here. Right. It's a great tool. It's powerful. So going into 2024, it's something, whether you're in marketing operations, sales, any industry, it's a tool that, that can help you for sure. So
Right.
that's
And I
awesome.
think
Great
the thing
answer.
about it is it's getting smarter.
Hmm.
And as it gets smarter, there's more ways in which to use it.
Yeah.
Like Zapier
Yep.
put out a thing like, they've incorporated even more of Chat GPT with it. And
Yeah.
now they have a thing where you can literally tell it what you want to do.
That's right.
And
Give
it's
it
going to
prompts.
tell you what automations you need and then
Wow.
actually give you help on your, like, this is a process. Well, did you also think about maybe this could happen? And it's like, oh, and actually I did. And
Yep.
thanks for that
Yep.
heads up. But when we're thinking about this, it's getting smarter. It
Yeah.
is getting to the point where, and I tell people I work with, especially operations folks, like
Hmm.
if it can do the low level lifting for you for, Otter AI, like it listened to your meeting already. Tell
Yep.
me what were my meeting notes and what's the action items. Okay. Like, I mean, you were there, you were listening,
Yes.
you were taking notes. Like, if it
Yeah.
can do that and then your team can go pull that and that becomes your, goes into your project management tool, we don't need a human to read through the transcript.
That's
Like
right.
it was already done for us. So
Yep.
it's starting to figure out how do we use this in a way that helps us and makes us better, makes us more
Hmm.
efficient, because the reality is, again, we have an economy that's kind of, and so we all need to figure out ways. How can we be more efficient? And if it's utilizing AI to do that low level heavy lifting, let it do those things. And then we take over with the human element. So, yeah, it's one of those that if you're feeling that, I don't know, get over it.
Yeah.
Dive in and figure it out. Like this is the one you're just gonna need to jump into
Yeah.
the deep end of the pool and figure it out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yep. Great advice. Great advice.
Thanks.
All right, my friend, I got a question for you.
What's that?
So 2024 is right around the corner. People are starting to get ready and prepare for the year. What would you say that are 3 steps that marketers, leaders, and business owners can do to make realistic goals for the coming year?
Ooh, yeah. I would start with revisiting your mission, vision, and values.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, and if you don't have them, now I want you to start making
Yeah.
them first.
Now's the time.
Yeah, now's the time. Like, no better time than the present. But really do that because you want to make sure your goals align with your mission, vision, and values. And if you have mission, vision, and values and haven't shared them with your team, now is the time to do that as well. We need to have everyone on board with this is where who we are, where we're going, and this is what we stand for. And the more that everyone is aware of what that mission, vision, and values are, the more that you have people who commit it, connect it to that, who believe in it, they're going to show up better. So revisit that before making any goals. All
Yeah.
right. And then make sure any goals you do make align with that mission, vision, and values. And again, it's time. If you haven't looked at it lately, it might need a little tweak and a little tune up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put that time in now to do that. Evaluate what worked. Look at the data. Be objective. Sometimes we want to just look at, hey, we made a profit. Everything was going well. Okay, let's dive a little deeper. We did well. How did the team feel through this process? Okay. Was everyone burnt out, ready to quit? Okay, then if they were, we might want to adjust what this well is defined as, because we might not have a team next year. Okay,
Yeah.
if we keep going at this rate, are there things that we need to change? So, looking at what went well, how did we feel in delivering or doing, and all of the pieces that go with that, and is that how we want to feel in the future?
Right.
Okay, so we are now in October. When we
Mhm.
look at ourselves next year at this time, how do we want to feel? What do we want to have accomplished? But also, again, how do we want to feel in the accomplishing of that? So I think that that's really important. Don't be afraid to tweak and trash. Like tweak what needs tweaking, but there's some stuff that we need to trash. Again, maybe it's bring in some AI to do some low
Mhm.
level stuff, and we use our human intel for much higher tasks.
Mhm.
Whatever that is, whether if stuff's not serving you as the marketer, as the business owner, as the leader, it's not serving the team, it's not serving the business, it's not serving your clients. Let it go. What is that,
Yeah.
Frozen? Let
Yeah.
it
Let it
go.
go.
Okay. And so we need to be willing to do that. And I think sometimes we hold on to things too long because we're either afraid of what was going to happen if we don't hit that goal, or we're afraid of something else. Sometimes you have to let it go because it's what's holding you down. And I know you asked for three, but a fourth.
I like it.
I
We
think
love it. No, we're loving it.
you have to plan, but hold it loosely. We have learned anything over the last few years. Be ready for the pivot,
Hmm.
and
Oh, yeah.
have your good, your better, and your best. Like now is the time. We got like A, we got plan B, we got
Hmm.
plan C. Some of us have plan F,
Yes.
G, and we're
Yes.
working down the alphabet because that's the kind of just reality we live in now.
Yeah.
And so we want to make those realistic plans, and we want to look at what we've done historically to make some predictions on where we're going in the future. But we also want to hold it all very loosely because it can all change.
Yeah.
It can change and can change quickly, but we want to be ready for that change that comes with it. So yeah, but really starting with that mission, vision, and values, because if stuff's not aligned, it really doesn't matter, I think, what your goals are going to be. It's You may hit them, great, but how you hit them is probably not the way that you want to.
Wow. That was
Okay.
that answer that blew us away. You and you
The
gave
one
us
thing, go ahead, Brandon. I'm
so,
sorry.
no, you're good, Peter. Go
No, I was
ahead.
just going to say, the one thing that kind of stood out to me was, how do people feel?
Yeah.
Because that puts the whole human aspect back into this whole thing. We can talk about AI and all these different things, but how do people feel? That's what, to me personally, that's what matters the most. Because
Yes.
that's where you're going to get productivity out of people. It's like, do you
That's
feel
right.
good? Great. Let's keep going.
Right.
You don't?
Yeah.
What do we got to fix?
That's
Yeah.
right. And I
One
think
of
we
the
need to do a better
sorry.
job, I'm sorry, of paying
You're good.
attention to that,
Hmm.
because this the world we live in, like we say the job market is tight, and it is in some sectors, but there's other sectors where there's a lot of loose movement and
Yeah.
people are going, they're doing,
A
and
lot of
some
growth.
of us after COVID may not need as much. I'm okay, taking
Yeah.
a step back or something else like that. So I think it is important too. How are we feeling through this process?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, if people are feeling burnt out, if they're feeling grumpy about just coming to work, like we see that, like, hey, go live wherever you want. Okay, now we
Yeah.
need you to come back.
Yep.
I'm not coming. I'm not coming back. Like we all like revert to 3-year-olds
Yes.
throwing a temper
Yes.
tantrum. We are crossing our arms, dragging our feet, falling out on the floor. We're like, I'm not going back.
You can't
Okay,
make me.
you can't
Yes.
make me.
I want to work from home.
Exactly. And so I think there's a realness. And I mean, don't get me wrong, remote work has its challenges as well. And there's levels of how to keep that communication and connectivity that we definitely still need to work on and improve some areas. But people have options.
Yeah.
And if you're not touching base with your team to figure out how they are feeling, oh, they'll
Yeah.
let you know. But normally it's going to be with a 2-week notice. And you're like,
That's
but I
right.
couldn't fix it.
That's right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know working in sales, one of the the biggest thing, with whether you're trying to sell something or you're managing, people will always remember how you made them feel. Whether it's your product, what that result was, or whether how you treat them, how you manage them. People never forget how you made them feel. So that's a great summary. Whether it's the authenticity, right? Using AI to, free up your employees' time to, focused on, more important tasks. I think you hit the nail right on the head, and we definitely appreciate that. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
love
this has
your
been awesome.
summary of it.
Yeah, that's,
You're like
you
the
have to
king of
summarize it.
summarizing.
Yeah, because as I'm listening, right, the reason we do this podcast, it's not to just talk about food, which I love talking about food, but no, we want to get something. We want our audience to understand these trends and what's important from someone who's in the field, who's doing the work, has done the work, and has a proven track record of success. So we definitely appreciate you imparting your wisdom upon us. With that being said, I have two questions. I have one here, but I have an extra question. So normally we like to end the podcast with what do you want to plug, right? So before you go there, because I do want to end there, because you have so many amazing things going on, and I want people to connect with you, whether it's on LinkedIn or directly through your company's website. But before I go there, you've spent a significant amount of time in the DMV area, right? And we've touched on the crab cake conversation, right? So can you? Sorry, Peter. Sorry, Kevin. I have to know the best crab cake you've had in Maryland or surrounding areas. Can you kind of tell us what the best crab cake you've had? Because we have debates around here, and that's just something that I want to know what your opinion of is on that.
Honestly, the
Uh-huh.
best crab cakes that I've ever had, I made. I'm just gonna
Homemade.
be real
Okay.
with you.
Homemade. All right.
I'm
Homemade.
just gonna be real. It was a
Yes.
combination of lump and back fin,
Oof.
and
Yes.
yeah, like honestly, the best ones in stone ground mustard because I like it to
Oh,
have a little spicy kick to it.
stone ground mustard. Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
that's are the best
I'm
ones.
writing
But if
that
I
down.
had to choose a second,
Okay.
uh,
Always giving us extra. Always giving us extra. I love
yeah, always. Oh goodness, if
it.
I had to choose a second,
Mm-hmm.
oh goodness. I actually want to say back in the day,
Okay.
Phillips down at the harbor.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
Phillips
I
is a
know it's not
classic.
there anymore, but
Yeah.
back
I
in
think
the
you can still
day,
order them. Yeah, I think
yeah,
you can
you
still
can
order
still
them.
order
Yeah.
them. But I think
Yeah.
back in the day, they actually had, and when I say that, I'm like the early 90s, they
Okay.
had really great crab
Yeah.
cake.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was really good. So that would
Okay.
probably be my second
Your
choice.
second, but homemade is the way to go for
Homemade
you.
just beats
Okay.
all of the others,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you know exactly what you put in it.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
seasoned the way that you want it,
That's right. That's
and
right.
you've cooked it the way
Yeah.
that you
The
want
way
it,
you want it,
you
whether you
know?
want to fry it or broil it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
That's
it's the
awesome.
right level of brownness to what you
Yes.
want.
Yes.
There's a thing about food and its level of
Yes.
brownness, which
Yes.
indicates whether or not some of us feel it's done or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Good
that's
answer. Good answer. All right. All right. I'm going to shift gears. So now anything that you want to plug, you just, whether again, it comes to your business, any projects, anything, upcoming for next year, anything that you want to tell the audience about?
yeah.
Any
Well,
crab cake recipes,
I
Oh
maybe?
know,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of broiling. Okay,
Mm,
I will say that.
likewise. Likewise. Likewise.
I think
Yes.
in terms of anything to plug, let's see here. For those that are obviously interested, I'm a naturally strategic thinker, so my strategy intensives, they're open and available. If anyone is looking, we get together for 2 90-minute calls and really map out your next 3 months and beyond, and lots of value that's packed into that. And I think the
Mhm.
next thing would be no shade again to the men, but for the women who might be
None
listening,
taken. None taken.
Duly
um,
deserved.
I am a co-author in a book called
Mhm.
Mission Possible, and it's really
Okay.
geared towards women entrepreneurs who are looking to get started. And it covers not only data, but marketing and branding and public speaking, and all of the different things that need to be considered when taking that leap and basically starting to bet on yourself when it comes to entrepreneurship. So it's called Mission Possible, and I know that my PR lady would be mad because I don't have a copy
You have
next
the
to me
book.
to go and hold it up. But you'll have to get over it. But
Yeah.
but it's available on Amazon, and
Okay, nice.
it's really just, again, it's really designed to take women through that entire process of what it looks like to jump into that entrepreneurial fray.
Okay.
That's called Mission Possible.
Mission
correct?
Possible.
Cool.
Mission
Yeah.
Possible. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. We'll I know in terms of any like socials, or is there any information that you want to put out if
Yeah.
people want to maybe follow you or follow your business, where can you be found on the socials?
You can find me on LinkedIn. That's where
Okay.
I hang out the most.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I broke up with Instagram, so we're
Okay.
over.
I don't
But
blame
yes,
you.
you can find me on LinkedIn. That's the
Okay.
best place to locate
Is
me.
it okay?
And my business is on there, as well as my business page, company page, whatever they call them nowadays.
Yeah. Awesome. So LinkedIn. So that for those interested in connecting with Kiva, you can find her on LinkedIn. I'm sure I'd be happy to connect and check out that website as well. I had a chance to check it out. Very awesome website, and definitely look forward to continuing to connect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm so excited to chat with
Yes.
you guys, and I
Yeah.
mean, you both are the best. So this is
Yeah. It's
this
been
has been
fun.
great.
Really
Been a
fun.
wonderful conversation on our side
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yay! That's
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all I have. This has been awesome. We learned a new crab cake recipe. We got some great advice for 2024, right? And like I said, it's been really fun. Definitely look forward to connecting again. And yeah, that's it. That's all we have. Thanks, Kiva.
awesome. Thanks so
Appreciate
much,
it.
guys.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Kiva.
Take
Have a
care.
good rest of your day.
You too.
See you.
All right.
All right. Bye.